Hey, Hugh again. Welcome back to day 2, and congratulations, because if you've made it to day 2, you've showed up for the second day in a row, and that is awesome. That's a win. So congratulations. Now, if you've ever tried yoga, foam rolling, any sort of stretching, and not gotten some results that you wanted, then there's probably a reason for that, and it's not you. So the reasons might be that the method didn't focus on hydration, it didn't focus on the nervous system, or maybe it just didn't integrate it into your system. So what do I mean by that? So hydration happens by basically, it's like we try and rehydrate our bodies like it was a sponge. Now that means we squeeze it, we release it. So what does that look like? Well, if you've done some foam rolling, then you've done that aspect of things. Has it stuck? Maybe, if you've done it over and over, but it doesn't integrate the nervous system. So if you've done nervous system work and it hasn't stuck, maybe that's because it didn't integrate it into your neurology properly. So the bendy strength method is all about reintegrating strength into your nervous system and also rehydrating the tissue. Now, how do we do that? So there's a few elements to it, and some of them will be super simple and some of them might seem a little bit complex. So wherever you're at right now, totally okay. So there's a few key elements to making sure that your results stick, because if you get results but it doesn't last, then it's not really serving you. So yeah, let's dive into what that actually looks like. Now, the first element is basically awakening up the tissue. So when we awaken the tissue, then it starts to release those restrictions that can occur in the fascial matrix. And when we release those restrictions, then it starts to let the tissue glide and slide, which is ideal. So the first little simple drill to just give you an idea of what that looks like is, we'll just do it for the legs. So let me set you down here. Okay, so it's a simple squat. Now, I'm not passive, I'm active. I'm up on my tippy toes, I gotta think about balancing, I'm engaging my butt, I'm engaging my quads. I'm holding this, I'm breathing, I'm letting my nervous system feel safe. So I'll hold that for maybe 30 seconds, and once I hold that for 30 seconds, then it starts to do that release thing. So that's awakening the tissue. The next thing we need to think about is accessing different ranges of motion, so things that we might not necessarily ordinarily access. So that example there is, for some people, enough to access new ranges of motion. If you've got stiff knees, then that might be a great thing for you. Now, that for some people might be a little bit aggressive, so it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be all the way down. You might be in a very, half squat kind of position. Still up on the toes, just holding that position and activating the muscle. So everything is scalable. No matter where you're at, there is a variation that is right for you. Next thing we need to look at is I mentioned the range of motion, but it's also about finding movements that challenge like the edges. So when we reach, then we don't reach in the same pattern that we might do a shoulder press. We have much more organic kind of movements that we use throughout the day. And when it comes to the bendy strength method, there's a bit of gentle acrobatic kind of movement, and that starts to access all these different ranges of motion that we might not ordinarily get, certainly not in a gym environment when we're confined to the movement pathways that the machines offer. So cables might be a little bit better, but realistically we need some freedom of movement, and that's where the acrobatic elements come in. The third thing is integration. Now the integration piece is something that is very rare to see in a gym environment, in a class environment. Sure, you might do like a shoulder press followed by a bicep curl in your pump class or something like that, but we're really training efficiency, and efficiency is like transferring momentum from one movement to the next. So I might be doing a roll on the ground and then transferring that into some sort of squat, crawl, locomotion pattern. And that's what I mean by integration. Now, to give you an idea of what's going to happen in this challenge, which is to give you an idea of what I have in mind for you for this challenge, then I'll actually show you the flow that we'll learn in the next 13 days. There's some very simple parts. There's some elements that some people will find really simple and others will find quite challenging, and that might be because you don't quite have the range of motion yet. But what will happen as you practice is that range of motion will come back. So let's take a look at the flow.